charges doesn't even say my name on it. It's misspelled. So if you're gonna bring up a wrong, and it says number on her, then my name's not even
Now, there
on
was more than wrong number. I did what I felt was right to prove myself innocent. I did that.
Can I say something?
Yes.
I think you're a great council member. I think you bring a lot to the table. I didn't bring charges against you, and I believe on that vote, when it came for a hearing, I abstained. Because I think that I was brought into the middle of this decision, when it wasn't my doing. I hate conflict. I don't have a preference either way on hearing, not hearing. I didn't bring charges. I feel I didn't know what to do in that situation either. I'm kind of dragging the mud too. I'm here for the village, the constituents, and we all are. And I think you bring a lot to the table. I didn't bring charges against you, and I believe for you and Tracy's hearing, I abstained voting because I didn't want to bring that.
Right. And it was a 2-2 vote.
Well, don't say you're going to bring me in there when I
Well,
voted.
you are on council now, Mr. Reed.
I understand that, but I abstained from voting because I hate to be in that situation. I was blindsided just as much as you because I didn't bring the charges against you. That's not between me and you. I think we're good council members.
My law says when the head of the village command brings charges, that is voted. That is part of council's responsibility to take care of that. In the sense that they voted and you agreed to do that.
I abstained from voting.
You abstained from voting to file charges. But you agreed to let those charges be brought against us.
I think that's what I abstained against, right? To even have the vote I believe I abstained on was to even have a hearing. I didn't have a preference on it. I didn't.
You're correct. So the charges were brought according to the Ohio Revised Code. The way I interpreted it was that we needed to have a hearing to hear the charges through. And we did that. Mr. Martin hired an attorney, and yet you abstained from the vote of the hearing. So I was trying to follow proper procedure. Sir, if you want to call your attorney, do it. I don't care. Let's move on.
But
No more. Call your attorney
Yeah.
and
I make a
say,
motion to adjourn the meeting.
Well, there's another motion on the table still. Yeah, he made a motion. And if that's, the energy you want to spend, that's your choice. So be it.
I made a motion to deny payment of your attorney, sir. If we have a second, okay. If not, we'll move on.
I second that.
Okay, so I guess we call for a vote.
All in favor?
I'm still abstaining my vote. I have no preference on it. I hate that I'm even driving in this situation. I mean, I know you are too.
The majority, you only had 2 votes. So,
I'd like to say something. So, I've been on this council this is my 3rd year. And it's hard when everybody doesn't want to work together. There's been a lot of drama. There's been a lot of nonsense. It's been very frustrating. The goal is for everybody to do the best they can to represent the village in a way that is both ethical, transparent, and that we are educated on what we are doing. And I've sat here and I've watched people refuse to get educated. I've watched people argue. I've watched people bicker. I've had people in my face screaming at me. I've been called names. I've watched that happen with multiple people on council and our mayor in the last year and a half.
That's right.
It is absolutely absurd. That is not the way we are supposed to behave. And it's very, very frustrating. And I work tirelessly to try to be objective, to be percent what is best overall. There are things that I have agreed to, and there are things that I haven't agreed to. And none of those decisions were ever made about a personal feeling, or I did it because I felt that it needed to be done. When you bring something to light, that the law and came forward and done a little research, You could have done it. I understand how you felt. I do. But when you come in here and you make decisions, your emotions have to be set aside. And I think that needed to be done. The procedure needed to be followed. It wasn't personal against you. And I know sometimes it feels that way. But I get things said to me about different things that I haven't done or things that I need to do. I get reminders sent to me. We all do. All of us. Every one of us. I fall short. Everyone in this room falls short at one time or another. And we are being held accountable. That is a new thing that has been happening since Mayor Fisher took office. And it isn't always easy. But the reality of it is the reason that that's happening is because our villagers, our constituents are demanding that. It's not something that's personal against us individually. And I think that that needs to be.
You guys had to go to be certified for, I thought you just ran for council and you just did the business. But if it's a requirement, right, you have a responsibility to fulfill the certification.
And I did. And I had,
But did you do it timely? It shouldn't have taken.
but
4
that was
years.
one of the 4 accounts brought forth to me.
Well, I have no legal,
So
my daughter.
everything was dropped. And Mrs. Young, I appreciate your wisdom, and I've always liked you, and I remember your kids going through school, and I've been custodian for years. I have always wore my emotions on my sleeve. I don't believe I've been a hindrance to this council, because I don't believe maybe a handful of times when I've been on, maybe 5 times I've disagreed and voted no. I have agreed with everything that we have done. And I have done everything that was asked of me. I am not someone like Tom Taylor was in here, he doesn't need a pat on the back every day. I don't need that. I have never been that one. I'm asking that I occurred this because charges were brought against me. And I understand Miss Landis, excuse me, her opinion and everybody's opinion. That as a council member, I shouldn't have to occur this to stay on council. That where I feel that I have done my job, I care about this village. I've been here for 50 years, over 55 years. I've lived in the village and worked here forever. I cleaned the streets. If you were in my shoes, Mr. Renoi, and we brought charges to you, and you couldn't use the village lawyer, would you go out? Would you throw your hands up and walk away? Would you go out to get a lawyer to prove yourself innocent? Excuse me, I'm sorry.
No,
You wouldn't.
no.
You would walk away, throw your hands up and walk away.
Not after it had been, not after it, the charges that were brought up against you, you completed one of them. If I had completed one of them and the other 3, or however many there was, once that was dropped, I'd say, hey, okay, let's get back to business and start doing work. Here's my 1624, here you go. Let's get back to work. Let's do what we're going to do. Let's improve something. Let's go involved and work on something. That's what I would do, right?
Okay. Okay. I make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor? I'll help you out there. Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies. Shar, how did your meeting go with the election commission?
It's a matter of public record.
Okay. The other thing I'd like to ask.
Good.